And hello, folks. Welcome here to this week's edition of NASCAR Talk. Um, we are going to be uh, basically recapping Dover and then looking ahead here to the All-Star Race weekend. I'm pretty excited because I was actually having to work last night, and I thought I was going to miss the Sprint Showdown. Hey, Charles.
Hello.
I was just telling people that I actually had to work last night, so I thought the Sprint Showdown was actually going to get run. I wasn't going to be able to see it, but it got rained out. So they have an entirely new schedule for today. 9:30 Eastern, the All-Star Race practice. 10:05 a.m. All-Star Race pit road speed practice. 11 o'clock this morning is when they're actually going to have the Sprint Showdown. So regardless of where we're at in this stream, if we run to 11 o'clock, we are ending because, I want to watch that. 12.
I doubt we're gonna. I doubt this Nascar Talk is gonna last like 2 hours.
Yeah, I doubt it too, but you never know. You never know. 12:30, they're going to run the Camping World Truck Series race, and then, of course, they're going to have the original schedule for the All-Star race qualifying tonight at 7:10, and then 9 o'clock will be the All-Star race on FS1. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited that I'm actually going to watch the Sprint Showdown, though, because, Casey Mears, yay, I get to watch him actually race, so...
As long as he does not have a transmission failure like he did back in 2004.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hope he doesn't.
When I found out that you were a not Seth fan, he's a Mears fan. I think of that crash and just think of it as like Seth Cole's nightmare.
Yeah, right. It was. The only problem, the only thing I'm looking at here that's kind of got me worried is, and I don't blame him with the fact that it got based off of points. We're gonna end up having Casey Mears starting all the way back in 14th position. However, I don't have as much of a problem. I actually kind of like the fact that the qualifying was rained out, so that drivers that are actually running well in the points this year are going to be starting up near the front rather than having to fight through traffic. So, I don't really have as much a problem with that, at least with this group.
And welcome.
As I'm looking right here, you got Chase Elliott going to be starting on the pole, Austin Dillon second, then Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger, Trevor Bayne, Ricky Stenhouse, Larson, Menard, Patrick, and Biffle for the top 10.
And remember, there's 3 segments, and so that means every driver is going to have at least 3 chances to reach the way into the All-Star race.
Exactly. Now, I remember, I think last year, what is it, that they line up in where they finish the first segment for the second segment, and technically second place is the pole sitter for the second segment, and then same for the third?
Well, basically, I think the way it's working this year is like, okay, so whoever wins the first segment, they'll immediately get off the track before the second segment. Then the second segment starts by either like a set of pit stops or just how they were when they finished the first segment, and then and so on. That's how I remember it.
Okay. I'm just looking at. I was watching yesterday the NASCAR pre-race show for All-Star Race weekend. I looked at that format that they're going to be having, and some of it I understand, some of it I don't understand, because in break number 2, between segment 2 and segment 3, random draw to decide whether the top 9, 10, or 11 cars must enter pit road for a mandatory 4-tire pit stop. The only thing that I'm a little confused about with that is we've got, I think it's 15? No, we're going to have 20 drivers. So technically what that means is that half the field is going to actually have to pit. The other half is going to be able to stay out. Now, I know that they're probably trying to throw in, tire strategy, new tires against old tires and all that stuff, but I don't know. That just kind of seems a little confusing to me.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but it was announced before the cancellation began, and it was actually idea that came from the drivers' council, and the drivers' council is led by Brad Keselowski, so you could call it Brad Keselowski's idea.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And Brad Keselowski said that he wanted to have that like first time to get hit because he feels like there needs to be a sense of like a driver really working hard to earn it, because if you can recall the last few All-Star races, thanks to arrows into the cars, leader goes into turn one, they get the lead, and then no one can catch them. So he wants to add. So he basically wants to make a final segment, have it where basically whether you win the race because you were forced to stay out or whether you were forced to pit, you truly earn it.
I'd rather it just be all drivers take a 4-tire pit stop.
Well, the only thing that I'm wondering is, okay, so let's say the maximum that they get for the draw is that 11 drivers, the top 11 drivers are going to have to pit. So that technically leaves 9 drivers out there on the racetrack with old tires if they decide to gamble. I would think with the low downforce package and all that, with the fresher tires, it's not going to take a car that's maybe dominated the first 2 segments. I don't think it's going to take them that long to get by 9 cars and get back up to the lead. At least not with old tires against new tires. Because let's see, the second segment, they're going to have to make at least 2-tire pit stop, mandatory 2-tire pit stop. So you're going to have, if drivers do go for a 2-tire pit stop there and then stay out in the third segment running 12th on back, I don't think they're really going to be able to hold off those drivers that had to come down and get 4 tires on that second break. I don't know. Maybe we'll get surprised.
Well, I also am looking forward to this All-Star race because back on Monday they announced even further downforce reductions just for this race. They even took away some side force, so it's going to be and even you could call it an even lower downforce package for the All-Star race. So and I like this. I think NASCAR has said that this could be an experiment for next year's rules package.
Oh, good lord.
And we saw, well, we saw what the low downforce package did for last week at Dover. I mean, good grief. Aside from the Jimmy Johnson botched start, that race was actually really good.
In my opinion, the race of the year, and I never thought I would ever say that about a Dover race.
Me either. Not Dover.
Right? Holy.
I do really wish that there hadn't been that Johnson botched restart, because that just kind of really messed everything up. But I mean, good grief, Kyle Larson. Normally you see him run in the high side, but with that low downforce package, I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen him really be a bottom hugger at a racetrack.
Right.
Of course, Matt Kenseth winning that race, so at least luck changing a bit there for Matt Kenseth.
It should have been that won that race, in my opinion.
Who?
It should have been Larson.
I mean,
yeah, well, I
I wanted Larson. I wanted Larson to win too. I recall cheering harder in the closing up to that race for someone than I can ever remember in my whole life, or at least recently. And thing is, I was cheering for Larson so hard, and I wanted Larson to win, but it just wasn't meant to be. And Matt Kenseth was driving smart.
Right.
And Kyle Larson even said that he wasn't willing to wreck Kenseth for that win. He was gonna win a race legit. So.
Yeah, and plus he had already spun out Carl Edwards, so if he were to end up doing that to Kenseth, he probably would have been penalized.
Yeah, I actually looked at that, and I don't really see it being Larson's fault, really. I mean, Edwards backed out of the throttle. It's the final few laps. You can't lift. So, I mean, it was just a case of one car backing out, the other car too close to be able to react. But that was still a hard hit for Edwards, though. That was pretty scary hit.
Too.
Yeah, fortunately safe for barrier, but oh man.
Yeah, back end of the car lifted off the ground.
So now we got all four of the Joe Gibbs racing cars that'll be in the chase. Not like we really expected any different, but one thing that they were talking about on NASCAR.com now is that they are going to have the opportunity to kind of try out different things now. They'll be able to try out different strategies, see how they work. You know, be able to kind of experiment for when they get to the chase for the championship. And now with all four of them being winners and being in the chase, they can all pass on that information to each other. So does this make Joe Gibbs Racing much more of a threat for when we start off the chase for the championship?
I mean, all four drivers have nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, with that, definitely. I mean, yeah, since you have all four drivers in there, you can almost guarantee that Joe Gibbs will win another championship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, with them all being in there and them having the chance to experiment and everything, do we now see Joe Gibbs Racing go into an experimental stage, maybe not a dominating stage like they've been on, and we see another team maybe try and step towards the front and try and get wins to get themselves into the chase? Because so far we've got Brad Keselowski, we got Kevin Harvick. Are we going to see anybody else maybe starting to put them? We got Jimmy Johnson too. Are we going to see anybody else maybe step up and try and maybe push forward the Penske train or the Stewart-Haas Racing train or the Hendrick train to try and counter the four drivers that Gibbs is going to have in the chase to maybe get three or four of their cars into the chase for their team?
To be honest, the only drivers in Hendrick that really stand a chance are Johnson and Elliott.
Mm.
I think Logano's got a shot still.
Yeah, if you can find Victory Lane, it's been a while since he actually has won something since last year at what? Daigle?
Yeah. And then probably we'll see Kurt Busch in Victory Lane at some point.
Kurt Busch has actually been the most consistent driver.
Yeah, he has.
Mm-hmm.
More top tens than anyone else.
I think
Yeah.
a couple of his big chances went by, though. Martinsville, he was good at Dover, Richmond. So I'm kind of looking at the schedule here, and right at the moment in the near future, I don't see any particular tracks that he's really known for being dominant at. I don't know. We might. I don't know how he's. I guess he's okay at Charlotte, but I don't really remember him being one of those dominant drivers when they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been almost a year since Kurt Busch has won a race, dating back to Michigan last June, and that was a rain-shortened race.
Right. So we're gonna get into the next thing we'll get into will obviously be talking about the Sprint Showdown, which I'm actually shocked we're actually able to talk about today. I was thinking that today's episode we were going to be recapping the Sprint Showdown, but nope, we're going to actually get to give predictions and stuff for that. But let's just quickly touch on one big top story, which I kind of expected was going to be happening, and it confirmed my suspicions. Kevin Harvick is not going to the 5. They've signed a contract extension, Stewart-Haas Racing and Kevin Harvick. So, shooting down those rumors.
They got those rumors are over now.
Well, the thing that I knew that wasn't going to happen because there was no way that Todd Berrier was going to be able to move over to the 5 team with him since he was also in a contract with Stewart-Haas Racing.
Hey,
there was no way Harvick was going to give up.
You just had a blooper. It wasn't Todd Barrier. You dum-dum.
Well, it was his crew chief then. I don't know.
Rodney Childers, you silly goober. All right, you deserve a fail sticker. Ding. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
what?
Yeah, it's Rodney Childers in the Harvick.
Oh, Rodney Childers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hello, fail sticker. Ding.
Sorry, I'm a throwback guy.
Yeah, but oh my god, I cannot believe for tomorrow, though. I'm so nervous.
What are you nervous about?
I'm taking
You
part of
driving in
the.
the BP Indy 500.
I bumped out LaPlante last
You
minute.
did. You bumped LaPlante out. I can't believe you did that.
I bumped him out to get myself in there.
And I didn't know Jacob Crago even raced in that series.
Oh, is that online?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I said to Greg, I was telling Greg before I made my run, I'm like, Greg, if I bump LaPlante, I'll watch him rage, and sure enough.
Back to real life.
Mm-hmm. If you all are gonna be, if you all are, I can post a link later for you guys to check it out for tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll be starting last though, since I got the final spot on speed.
Well,
But it's important, so.
Yep. With Harvick signing this extension, and we know that Stewart-Haas Racing is going to Ford, how are you guys seeing Kevin Harvick's 2017 going?
Pack.
It's gonna be very similar to what he's done the past 3 years, in my opinion. I don't think that Ford is gonna like cause like a major like drop off in performance, especially considering that Stewart-Haas Racing is going to be powered by Penske, and Penske has been a great force in NASCAR the past few years.
Yeah, well, it depends what Fords they get. They get the Roush Fenway Fords or the Penske Fords.
Right.
Well, the one thing that Charles said that kind of caught my attention with, he said his last 3 years. This year in particular, I think, has been maybe the tamest of his last 3 years.
I mean, he's actually
We've seen, yeah, he's points leader. He's been consistent, but he's not been the dominating Kevin Harvick like from last year, or especially from 2014. It just doesn't seem like quite the same Kevin Harvick. And I know definitely that at Dover, it was absolutely no fault of his. It was his pit crew losing him spots every single time that he came down on pit road. But I don't know if maybe we're seeing a little bit of a waning away from the dominance that Kevin Harvick had in the last couple of years, and if that might attribute to his move over into a Ford Fusion next year.
Well, it depends how much Chevy's still going to support them to the end of the season because they're leaving. That's the question.
Right.
Because if I remember correctly, back in '06, Dodge found a bridge with Bill Davis Racing. So, and my phone is going off. Good lord.
All right, so let's move into today's Sprint Showdown, and I'm just going to quickly read off the entry list of the drivers that are entered in it. We got Austin Dillon, Trevor Bayne, Regan Smith, Danica Patrick, Casey Mears, Clint Boyer, Greg Biffle, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney, David Reagan, Chase Elliott, Paul Menard, Josh Wise, Jeffrey Earnhardt, who is not listed as a rookie on here, go figure. Chris Buescher, Landon Castle, Kyle Larson, Eric Almirola, Brian Scott, Michael Annette, A.G. Allmendinger, Reed Sorensen, Matt DeBrito, Michael McDowell, and Cole Witt. Now, they already have the lineup put together and everything because of obviously qualifying being rained out. So Chase Elliott, being the highest in the points, is starting on the pole alongside of Austin Dillon. Doesn't that seem familiar?
Yeah, and DeBrito starts 18th.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. They have
Resources
not
for the
announced the
All-Star
fan vote
race.
winners either yet, correct?
No, they haven't. I don't think they're going to. They're not going to announce it until afterwards. So we've got 5 drivers that are going to be making the All-Star race. 15 drivers are already locked in. 3 drivers are getting in by winning either segments 1, 2, or 3 of the showdown, and then 2 drivers will get in via the fan vote. So we're going to have our predictions here. We're not necessarily going to make you guys have to pick who in order of each segment is going to be making in, but starting with you, Charles, who are the 3 segment winners in your opinion, and then who do you think is going to get in those 2 fan vote spots?
Okay, I'm gonna go out and say that Elliot's gonna win one of the segments. Dylan is gonna win one of the segments, and then whoever wins the third segment, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm actually going to kind of go for a long shot here and actually say that Trevor Bain's gonna win a segment.
Wow.
As far as fan votes, I know Danica's going to get at least one of them because she's Danica. And whoever gets the second one, I'm gonna go with Matt Duenel.
The burrito!
The burrito lives. Alright.
Anyway,
Okay, Johnny, who do you think?
Okay, my segments. Segment 1, I am going to go with Kyle Larson. Segment 2, I am going to go with. I'm hoping I can see this happen. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Trevor Bain. Segment 3, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go for a real big shocker here. I am going to go with Regan Smith for segment 3.
Wow.
My fan votes, I definitely know the Burrito's getting in with a fan vote. I know that from the fact of the popular fan base this season. And sorry to all you Danica fanias out there, she's not getting the second fan vote. If Kyle Larson doesn't win his segment, Kyle Larson's getting the second fan vote.
man, can't believe De Benedetto's being such a fan base. He's kind of becoming like Dick Trickle.
Well, I think he's
Oh, yeah,
kind
let's
of
take
taking
him 20 years to win
he's
Daytona
taking the
500.
Josh
Let's
Wise
give it to
route
Trickle.
from last time. He's got all the Reddit fans on his side. All right, Steven, who are you looking at?
Well, I definitely think segment 1 is definitely going to go to Chase Elliott. He's going to win the first segment. The second segment, I think shocker. It's going to be not shocker. Austin Dillon would easily win the second segment. And in the third segment, it's either going to be Stenhouse or Allmendinger, I think, are going to win the third segment. I mean, Allmendinger kind of is the underdog because he's ran good at the mile and a half, but some he's kind of struggled. But there's not that many of the good cars out there, so maybe he could do it. And Stenhouse has speed all year in the third segment. The All-Star, the fan vote, I think will easily be Danica and De Benedetto based on the voting this year.
All right, William.
Let's see. Segment 1, I'll also go with Elliott. Segment 2, I'll go with Allmendinger. And segment 3, ooh, guess I'll go with Stenhouse. And for the fan vote, I guess I'll also go with De Benedetto. And I guess I'll go with Patrick as well, Danica, because, I mean, she's been getting into the All-Star race via fan vote for, like, how long? Like, how many All-Star races has she been in?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if she gets in there on the fan vote.
No, she didn't get in last year.
Yes,
Oh.
she did. She got in
Yeah, she did.
in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, she did? Oh, I thought Wise got in.
Wise got in
well,
2014.
Oh.
Yeah.
The biggest shocker of them all.
Huh.
Well, I'm going to definitely agree with you guys. Segment 1, there's no doubt about it. Chase Elliott's definitely going to win that one. Segment 2, I want to go with Austin Dillon, but something in me is saying that more than likely it's going to possibly be Ryan Blaney.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
So I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney to win that one. Segment 3, I'm almost wanting to also go with AJ Allmendingers. I don't think Austin Dillon is going to win a segment. Even though he's got fairly good numbers at Charlotte, got to remember, too, those numbers come under the lights. I'm not so certain in the daytime if it might not affect that 3 team. So I don't think Austin Dillon's going to get in via segment. My picks for the segments, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and AJ Allmendinger. For as far as the fan vote, then, I think that the number 1 fan vote award is going to go to Austin Dillon, and then more than likely the second one's going to go to Matt DiBenedetto. Because I don't know, there always just seems to be that one guy that you think is going to be dominating. He doesn't get it done. Like um, that one year when Carl Edwards didn't make it into the All-Star race.
Right.
Trying to look here and see numbers of certain drivers at that track in the last couple of years, and the
Obviously, Reed Sorensen.
highest
God.
Reed Sorensen, the highest average finisher for drivers that are in the showdown is Austin Dillon. 4 starts, 1 top 10, 4 top 20s, average finish of 13th place. And then behind him is Eric Almirola. In 4 starts, he has a 15th place average finish. So maybe Almirola could be a dark horse there. Trying to see. And these are all within the last 4 races at Charlotte. Larson, 17.5 for his average finish. Chase Elliott, only 1 start, obviously. He finished 18th. Allmendinger, 20th place average finish. Clint Boyer, 23rd place average finish. Same for Trevor Bayne. 24th place average finish for Casey Mears. 25th place average for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Paul Menard. 27th place average finish for Patrick. Ryan Blaney in 2 starts, 28th place average finish. So, not really sure we can really go off the average finishes on this, but
Yeah.
In a
it'll be
way,
interesting too with daytime racing, because remember we ended up racing Richmond during the daytime when it was normally at night, and that was a great race. So it'll be interesting to see being daytime conditions for the sprint showdown what happens.
Yeah, indeed.
I wish at least like one of like the Charlotte Cup races was under the daytime, like all races. Because I don't know, I just don't like having like 2 Charlotte night races in the Sprint Cup Series. Have well, fine. The Coca-Cola 600 isn't a full night race. You know, it's a daytime night race, but I just think it gets old to have both races be under the lights.
Obviously,
Yeah,
I think
I
Reed
agree.
Sorensen's going to win the segment.
When hell freezes over.
He's going to win the segment. Steven, if Reed Sorensen wins the segment, I will close down my YouTube channel.
No, you're not.
He'll be hauling ass.
Alright, so let's look ahead to the All-Star race then. And right now, 15 drivers are currently locked into that. McMurray, Kozlowski, Harvick, Kane, Hamlin, Stewart, Edwards, Kenseth, Logano, Newman, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, who will be driving the 75 car, Martin Truex Jr., and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, they'll be having their qualifying session tonight at 7:10 Eastern Time. Who are you guys looking at in that one, first off, to nab the pole position?
Someone else can go first.
I guess I'll go with the winner of last year's All-Star race, which is Denny Hamlin.
I'll say Chase Elliott wins the pole.
Wait, I don't think he can though, can he?
Yeah.
Well, thing
he'll
is-
be able to do qualifying.
Well,
I don't know. If you're a segment winner or a fan vote winner, you have to start 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, or 20th.
Yeah, you have
last
to
year
get.
Josh Wise qualified when he made it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think if I could pull the video up.
Oh. Well then.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, so who do I think is going to win the poll? That's tough. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Kurt Busch.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Bad Bread, obviously.
I'm gonna go with Carl Edwards. because he won the May Charlotte pole last year. Is that during qualifying?
Yeah.
Is that from 2014?
Yeah, it's 2014.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. So you were correct.
The pit crew was obviously terrible, but
Yeah. Well, can't really expect much out of pit crew from Premium Motorsports.
the pit time was 19.5.
Oh dear. Well, that's not so bad. So Charles and I were actually talking before the rest of you guys got in about the format for this year's All-Star race, the Brad Keselowski format. So segment 1, the field obviously determined by qualifying. It'll be 50 laps, and they'll have to make a green flag pit stop for at least 2 tires. Then they'll take a break. There will be another mandatory pit stop with yet another minimum 2-tire change before segment 2. Segment 2, another 50 laps. The field being determined by the pit road exit. During that 50 laps, they have to make one mandatory pit stop for a minimum of 2 tires, but it has to be before lap 85, or technically before 15 to go in that segment. Then they take another 3 to 5 minute break, and here's where the kind of mojo is for this one. Random draw will decide whether the top 9, 10, or 11 cars must enter pit road for mandatory 4-tire pit stop. Pit road would be closed to all the other cars. So if you're running in, let's say that they end up having the draw be that the top 11 cars. If you're 12th on back, you cannot come to pit road. That puts the leaders at the back, the drivers at the back towards the front, and then they race it out for just a 13-lap segment. Only green flag laps are going to count, and then they, of course, have the NASCAR overtime procedure at their disposal as well. Charles and I were talking about how with this random draw, putting the cars at the back of the pack, and Charles, I guess you can repeat this if you want to about what they were saying about having, I think it was Keselowski having to earn the win.
Okay, so basically, so back in like the Kansas, like pre-race like press conference, I'm gonna call it. Keselowski said that this format was inspired by him because he felt like that drivers in the past few All-Star races, drivers didn't really exactly earn it because basically, and one of the reasons because of this was because of the cars having too much downforce, which was just simply leader goes into turn 1 on the start the final segment, they get the lead and no one else can catch them. And Keselowski wanted to create, and Keselowski wanted to come up with something. So there's this format where basically like the first half of the field pits, the second half doesn't before the final segment. So that way, whether you win the race on old tires, holding fully on fresh tires, or whether you are able to get your way through traffic on fresh tires and win the race, you truly raced hard and earned it. That's basically what Keselowski said.
So the question I was going to pose to you guys is 13 laps. Okay, let's just say maybe we get those 13 laps completely run under green. Is there a shot at there being an opportunity for the driver that has maybe dominated the All-Star race to get by either it would be either 9, 10, or 11 cars before the 13 laps is up?
No way. Not with the new bot with this package.
No.
No way. No way in hell.
No.
Well, based on what I've heard from the drivers, there's still a lot of talk about how Arrow is still big, and so I think a few drivers, specifically Matt Kenseth, said that it could turn into a race for 12th place in the second to last segment. Everyone might try to race hard for 12th, or in other words, sandbagging, because they want to be that first car.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I was thinking, are we going to see anybody kind of lay back and be like, I don't want to be in that top 9, 10, or 11?
So man, what, we're 5 wide for 11th place at the segment end.
Well, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Now, the one thing I'm kind of wondering is, are we going to find out before the race whether, what that draw is going to be, or are we going to find that out during the second break between segments 2 and 3? Are they going to know right off what top cars are going to have to pit, or are they going to have to wait until like the last minute to know?
I like the element of surprise.
Yeah, me too.
Surprise.
Don't let them know.
I know, so people don't
Surprise,
see that.
Maybe a NASCAR official will just pick we'll just pick something out of a hat just before the pit stops.
Well,
Rip.
Yeah.
I like the element of surprise because when they had like if you won a segment, you automatically start in the front row in the final one. The guys were half a lap down the last 10 laps, so it's because they didn't want to try and save their stuff. So it's kind of surprise. It's pretty good sandbag.
Well, here's the thing that I think is kind of interesting too is Charlotte's maybe not one of the easiest tracks to sandbag at. When you think of sandbagging, you think of maybe something like Daytona, Talladega. Okay, I'll go to the high side. I'll drop to the back easily. At this kind of a racetrack, I mean, if you don't go, the driver behind you has the option of hanging back as well. So we could see some very, very interesting and kind of rather unorthodox racing tonight.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which kind of makes me also wonder, because you're gonna let's speculate, because we kind of know that we're gonna see a Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon probably in the All-Star race, whether they transfer in via the fan vote or through one of the segments. They're gonna have the benefit, more than likely, of starting closer to the rear of the field. That could come into play with them being able to play the sandbag game a lot easier than other drivers that would be maybe starting up towards the front of the field.
Yeah. Maybe newbies will be make hard here, Sorry, wrong grammar.
And, okay, just looked here. The segment 3 starting order determined by the cars leaving pit road lined up behind the cars that did not pit. So that will definitely make it a very interesting final pit stop there for those 9, 10, or 11 cars that pit as well, because in case that first car that pitted is able to get by those other cars that had to stay out, you want to be that first car.
You really do.
I don't know. I guess I kind of like that format, but the only thing I kind of question is it being 13 laps for the final segment. I don't know if that just seems a little bit too short, but you never know.
Right.
I have
Possibilities are always endless.
Yeah.
I have no idea why Keselowski suggests that.
Yeah, I wonder how they came up with the number 13.
Unlucky it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
13.
my driver's number is 13, so watch
I know that, Seth, but it has been having bad luck. There's been drivers that had it in the past that has had bad luck. Not saying Casey.
Hey, you watch Casey Mears win one of those segments and get in.
Yeah.
All right. We have to wait about, what, a few more hours now?
No, you only have to wait about an hour and 15 minutes now.
Hey,
Yeah.
and Chad Hockenbrough is going to win the Daytona 500.
What, are you on that rumor thing again?
Well, guys, I have a question to you. Who will win the fan vote?
We already did that.
Yeah, we already covered that.
No, I'm too late. I'm from the other country.
Well, I'm hoping
Yeah,
Kyle Busch
I'm
can win his
from
first
Township.
Charlotte race. Am I right, guys?
Well, I don't know if necessarily the All-Star race would count as a Charlotte win.
No, it wouldn't. But
Wait.
It's always been on Charlotte. Why NASCAR don't try other tracks?
I mean,
Probably because it's like the headquarters, the NASCAR headquarters.
I mean,
First
it,
with 1-2 in practice. Oh, never mind.
I mean, it's been Charlotte in all but 1 year of the All Star races history.
The last time the All-Star race was either at Charlotte or somewhere else was in 1986.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Elliott won
they
that.
did All Star at Atlanta.
Yeah, 1986.
I think
Stan Morris Jr. will be racing for Circle Sport Line Racing at the end of the year.
Are you
I
playing with that red?
Yes, yeah, I am. Oh shoot! They said Eric Jones is Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, they're kind of half right.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Eric Jones is going over to Furniture Row in 27.
Furniture Row.
On it now.
Wasn't there something about Eric Jones's number if he joins Furniture Row is going to be like the 77?
No, I see the 87.
Yeah,
I've heard 87 and I've heard 77. I don't know which is right.
87.
87?
Well, I guess 87
Well, I mean,
kind of makes sense because, I mean, they raced 2 cars in the Daytona 500, I think, back in, I think it was, yeah, 08.
One of them was Nemechek, the other was Kenny Wallace.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think Nemechek drove the 78 while Wallace drove the 87.
Yep. 87 was
Yeah,
Kenny.
Which one? Which was it? Both or one of them was National Day of Prayer?
That was Joe Nemechek at Talladega.
Okay.
Yep.
And another, well, the one thing that I'm wondering maybe about the 77 is Kyle Busch drove 77 in Xfinity for a bit, so.
No, that was Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, but Kyle Busch drove in that car as well.
Are you talking about 77?
Yeah, Bandit Wood Chippers Toyota.
That was Kligerman.
You know, speaking of Kyle Busch, well, I laughed when I found the news that Kyle Busch is driving number 75 to celebrate Eminem's 75-year anniversary.
Well, I mean,
He's been around that long.
it's not the first. If you remember 5 years ago, Jimmy Johnson drove the 5, Mark Ryan drove the 25.
I miss the 25.
I missed the 25 too.
That's my favorite Hendrick number ever.
But the 25 is cursed.
How's it cursed?
Well,
I-
some question.
What, is it cursed because of Tim Richmond?
I was
Well,
about to say that.
the thing is, when the 25, it seemed like that whoever drove the 25 just simply seems to drive regardless of driver talent.
But Casey Muir got his first career win in it.
Only
Charlotte.
career win
I
to
don't
be
think
honest,
Brad
I'll
Keselowski's
get another
struggling
one.
that much.
with Jermaine.
Keselowski's
Yeah.
not struggling. Vickers is just struggling with health issues.
His first win was in 2007 when he's still in Chip Ganassi, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he drove for Hendrick in
No,
the
he drove
25.
Hendrick. No, I was
Yeah.
Hendrick in the 25 car.
In that 25.
I remember too that I'd watched almost every single race that season. I didn't watch that race. My buddy calls me up that night. He says, "Hey, did you watch the Charlotte race?" I'm like, "No." Who won? Casey Mears. I'm like, "Come on, stop joking around. Who won?" He's like, "Casey Mears." Like, are you serious?
Well,
And I
13
didn't
hasn't-
watch that race.
I
It's
mean,
okay. I got it recorded on VHS though.
I mean, he kind of struggled in the. I mean, he wrecked 3 cars at Daytona and DNQ'd in the Hendrick 24 car in the Xfinity
Well,
Series.
13 hasn't won any points
Hey,
paying
but let's
race.
wait a minute. The times that Casey Mears drove that 24 car in Xfinity, a lot of times he got wrecked when he was running up at the front of the field.
That's true. I mean, the thing that Daytona was he wrecked the 2 backups. He ran Kyle Busch's backup car and DNQ'd.
Yeah, that stupid wreck when Kyle Busch flipped and Casey Mears was like with nowhere to go. Alright, so now comes the big.
Somebody's phone starts to ring.
Get the phone. It's our singular wireless call of the race. They need to bring back the Domino's doorbell.
Domino's Pizza.
At the door.
I like Domino's.
David Rubin's Domino's paint scheme is one of my favorite paint schemes ever. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
that was a good paint scheme.
Well, I don't think that if I can watch All-Star in the Philippines, but, you know, I'm going to try to fix my cable.
Well,
No.
do you have cable or satellite?
I think, well, my uncle accidentally pressed the auto program, then I surprised there's Fox Sports, and they broadcast NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races. The first one I watched was in 2015 New Hampshire race. When
Denny
Danica
Hamlin's
Patrick and David Regan crashed.
Denny Hamlin's the current fastest in practice right now.
Is he?
Yes, see, Logano's second, Edwards third.
But today will be the first ever truck race at Charlotte in the daytime.
Yay, JT Boys!
Yeah. 12:30.
Time for a Wreckfest.
Who doesn't love breakfast?
I know.
It's what's his name? Is William Byron in the race?
Yes.
He's
Yeah, he's on the pole.
Yeah, let's go for 2 wins.
Well, it's Kyle Busch is in the field. He's gonna win the race.
William Byron.
Oh crap.
I'm an A.
I think I read that Kyle Busch had 9 of his Truck Series starts at Charlotte. Kyle Busch has won like 6 of them.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Now the thing we can have a topic discussion is how do you think the owner points rule works? Because the 4 trucks of Brad Keselowski's trucks have DNQ'd the last 2 weeks because of rain, while Jennifer Jo Cobb 20 miles off the pace is making the field.
I don't know. I often feel like lying the field that's in the field by owners points. Just done for that very reason.
Well, I think the NASCAR has kind of lost the integrity of making every attempt for every race for the teams, because last week when Ben Kennedy ran the 24, if any of you know the story with Norm Benning, when he attempted all 4 or 5 races whatever last week, but he missed the race because Kennedy only had 2 attempts and Norm had 5, but they sent Norm home and made Ben made the race. So it's kind of like they don't have integrity of showing up every week.
Welcome to next. Or showing up doesn't give a shit. It don't matter.
Like, because easily last week Terrio could have. I mean, I'm not saying Norm would have won the race, but he should have made it, and Terrio could have easily won it over Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Well, guys, I have to sleep. It's been very night here in the Philippines. I have to sleep. Well, bye bye, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get
I'm
kicked out of the call?
Wait, what?
Did you get kicked out of the call?
No, my Mozilla completely crashed for some reason. I don't know what the deal was on that.
Yeah, your Mozilla hates you, Seth. While mine is intact.
No, I think the biggest problem was I had a video. I have videos uploading on YouTube at the same time that run the stream, so probably the player crashed. I don't know.
Smooth move.
Yeah, we were talking about
Can't wait to watch the Talladega race.
we're talking about the integrity of the Truck Series.
Oh,
Now, what do you think? Do you think that you should make the race based on every attempt or just every few attempts?
I think it should be on every attempt.
Because the thing was, last week I was talking with Ben Kennedy. He made only 2 attempts, but Norm Bennett, who's made all 5 attempts, went home instead of Kennedy's 2. So they've kind of lost the integrity of the sport.
I mean, in my opinion, I think we also hurt the integrity. I think we also hurt the integrity is when NASCAR like the advertising appears as like the 43 best drivers in the world, and then someone who's faster than someone else goes home.
Yeah, exactly. See, the thing with Kyle Busch this week, I think this is the fifth or the sixth truck race, but the 18 has only made 2 truck attempts, and there's some guys who've made more attempts and they went home. So it's not really going fair.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of having full-time teams if you're not going to let them run full-time?
Exactly.
That doesn't make sense to me either. And I know that they say, well, these cup drivers, they make these starts they make it for owner points, they make them for for the money, they make it for the experience, but I still don't agree with it.
Right.
This is why
I
Cup
mean,
drivers should be allowed to run lower levels.
Well, here's the thing too. Okay, let's just look at Chase Elliott. Let's look at Ryan Blaney. Why do you think they are doing as well as they are doing when they went up to the Cup level? Because they ran full time in Xfinity. They did not go part time, that kind of a thing where, Kyle Busch would come in, take some of their rides, that kind of thing. They were able to get experience at all these different racetracks. They were able to run full time, and I think that's why we see a lot of the younger talent that came up in the last few years. Now, granted, they weren't given the best equipment like Alex Bowman, Cole Witt, but if they had been allowed to be able to run full time, to be able to have the kind of experience like some of these other drivers are, rather than the Cup drivers going down there and taking over, dominating races, that kind of a thing, we may have seen more competitiveness out of those drivers.
And caution out for a weeper.
Oh, was caution?
What's caution out for?
A weeper that's developed in turn 4.
Uh-oh.
Weepers once again.
Off turn 4.
The Weepers are back.
The track is crying.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Oh, okay, I get what you're talking about.
Well, I think the best example of this was in 2007 when they had the top 35 rule in ninth place DNQ'd the race. That was hilarious. That was the best. That was the greatest moment ever.
Who was the driver?
I think it was Dale. No, it was Boris Said and AJ Allmendinger.
Oh,
Boris
snap.
AJ Walbendinger.
Boris said,
It was funny because Jeff Gordon qualified 43rd that day, I think.
I remember that race. Yeah, I do remember that.
The funny thing is, all the go homers made the top 36, but they still half them DNQ'd the race.
Yeah. There was another big name that finished that was way down there too. It wasn't just Gordon, it was somebody else too. Was it Stewart?
I think so. Well,
What was this race the 2010 Watkins Glen race?
I don't know if it was the Glen. I thought it was like one of the restricted plate tracks.
it's All-Star Weekend, people.
"Yay!"
What do you mean All-Star Day? Everything's ended in A.
Yeah.
Complex. Because
I mean-
showdown's at 11, track race is at noon, Cup qualifying is at like 7 if it doesn't rain, and no sort of
I will Saturday being.
Well, I think it's maybe a good decision that they're having it all today, just in case it gets rained out and they have to fall back on tomorrow.
Yeah,
Right.
forecast does call for a chance of rain, if memory serves me correctly. So,
In before they have a chance of rain in the All-Star race and they have to race the rain again.
I mean, I think.
I don't want to see the rain. I want to see them bring out the rain tires, bring out the windshield wipers into the fogger, and have them race in the rain at a mile and a half. That'd be cool.
I mean, the last time we tried racing the rain in the All-Star race 15 years ago, it didn't work out so well. Not all the cars wrecked, but a lot of the many cars that were wrecked heading down into Formula 1.
The All-Star
Yeah, wow.
Demolition Derby.
as it was,
All-Star Demolition Derby 2001 edition.
Oh my God.
I think it's actually a good chance that there actually I think is a chance that actually the All Stars actually might also be a day race tomorrow because like the rain like so far there's no rain in the forecast for like yesterday, but the rain could come back tonight in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Concept.
True.
Very interesting. All right, so let's get to the final thing of this episode, and that is we're gonna make our picks for who we think's going to win it all, win the All-Star race. So, I guess how about we do it in reverse? I'll start it off this time. So the driver I'm actually gonna go with in this one, and it's obviously gonna be a Joe Gibbs racing car, but I'm gonna go with Martin Truex Jr. because to a point that that Denny Hamlin made. This is a shorter race, and with a shorter race, there's less opportunities for Truex's pit crew to make a mistake. And I think that with the bad luck they've been having, an all-star race win could certainly help brighten up that team and kind of get them back in the right mindset to be able to go out there and win races. Plus the fact he's got tracks coming up in the next few weeks that he's actually quite good at. Also, when you think about it, too, in the past, during All-Star Race Weekend, Martin Truex Jr., whether he was driving the 78, whether he was driving the one car back for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, I mean, he always seemed to do pretty well at Charlotte. And I think that with the fact that the four Gibbs cars have gone to victory lane, I think that it's time to see that Satellite team go to victory lane. What better place than at a track where it really doesn't matter, doesn't really matter how hard you race. You're going for $1 million. There's no points on the line. I think Truex is going to win. All right, let's move to William.
Let's see. I guess I'll go with either Truex or Kyle Busch. Or Hamlin.
Or Toyota overall. Steven.
I think the All-Star race winner is gonna be Chase Elliott.
Wow. So you're going. So you're going with the flip flop between segments 2 and 3 to have a surprise winner.
Yep.
Not a bad pick, quite honestly. JT.
Same can be said here, but I'm going with Ryan Blaney.
Whoa!
I knew someone was going to pick Blaney.
All right, Johnny.
I'm going with bad Brad Keselowski. This is his format. This is his format to lose.
Now that
AKA
when I heard Steven
refuse to lose.
when I heard Steven pick Ryan Blaney, it kind of made me think if he ends up winning the All-Star race, it'll kind of because back in '96, Michael Waltrip, when he was driving that car, he won the showdown.
No, he won the
Winston.
He won the Winston. No, the Winston was the All-Star race in '96.
Yeah.
This
is like
we called the Winston.
I chose Chase Elliott. I didn't choose that other guy.
I chose
Who played?
anyway.
Hey, even though this is off topic, but there's actually a new law now in Arizona that promotes the Phoenix International Raceway to have up to $100 million worth of innovation projects.
Wow.
From the 20 to 2051.
And if you guys want more racing tomorrow, the ARCA race is going to be live streamed on a website tomorrow.
Is that where are they at?
Toledo.
Well, anyway, we got to get Charles' pick for the All-Star race.
Yes. Don't forget about me.
I didn't forget. Don't worry.
Okay, so my pick for the All-Star win, I'm gonna go with Kyle Busch. Now, they could argue that he's a driver to stay away from, considering that he's crashed in like half of his All-Star attempts. But I think that this is the year. He's already had a great season, and I think that this is the year where he finally wins the All-Star race. He's been close at least like 1 or 2 times, but he'll finally get the win tonight or tomorrow, whatever.
So you think he's going to win? Is he going to pull off another great save? Because it seems like every time we go to Charlotte, he's always sideways in one of the corners and makes a tremendous save.
Right?
Gay a little bit sideways.
Well, this stream's gotten copyright strike now.
Copyrighted strike if we only use at least 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop.
I think you're going overboard with the copyright strike claim.
Where's
Maybe.
Just full of crap. It's always been.
Speaking of track news, I heard that Pikes Peak International Raceway might get torn out and turn into like a police training, or will.
Wait, turn to.
If anyone remembers that track.
Yeah, that's out here in Fountain, Colorado, actually, there.
Yeah.
The only,
New Bush and truck races, if memory serves me correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe if my memory serves me right, where I'm at, I believe I'm close to about 3.5, maybe 4 hours from Fountain, Colorado.
I think the only time I watched that track on TV was when X Games was doing rallycross.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
Alright. Yeah, I think that was the only time I actually watched Pikes Peak on TV.
Anywho, oh my gosh, tomorrow. If you guys want to check out the Blazing Pedals Indy 500, I'll post a link for the live stream for that, so you guys can keep an eye on me.
Is that on
They run
YouTube?
really late, though, don't
Yeah, it's
they?
going to be live streamed through YouTube, yes.
Alright.
Yeah, but they run super late, though.
No,
Yeah.
we're starting at exactly 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, it's in the afternoon. Oh, I thought they ran like late night races.
Nope, we're starting tomorrow afternoon.
Alright, I guess I'll check that out.
Alright, let me get you guys the link here, and I'll post it in for you guys.
Alright.
Here's the thing, though. I start 2 rows behind Austin. 2 rows behind Zach Buchanan. So
Yeah, I saw Buchanan made it, McClintock made it, Tim Smith made it.
and I was the last one to get in too. Because here's what happened. Okay, the plant was on the bubble. All right, when I had to go out, and I was like, what to do? My first 2 times were average, but my last 2 times were the best that I've run before the server problem. And because I was like, oh boy, what's going to happen now? And then all of a sudden when I hear Greg say we're in a average of 220.8 miles an hour at a 39.2, the plant was like, no! I was like, sorry. But,
What mod did they run? DW12?
yeah, the DW12. I'm in the number 4 Dan Wilden tribute. Mm-hmm. It's a cool looking Indy car, though. I'll give you the say that.
Oh, is it custom?
Yeah, it's a custom. Greg actually painted the car for me. I'm actually gonna.
Okay, do we have any other topics we gotta hit on, or is this probably gonna end the episode, do you think?
I don't
Well,
know.
apparently, in Texas, $63 million is being spent on a high school football stadium.
There you guys go. There's the live stream link for tomorrow. So yeah, keep your eyes out. So I'm not gonna do anything.
You gonna be done in time for YouTube Pro Series practice?
Yes, I hope to. I told Cole if I make the Blazing Pedals Indy 500, I will make sure the server is already preset for him.
What time is that anyway? 4 o'clock?
Yes,
Okay. Just double checking.
you got it.
Okay, did you really post a link? I don't see anything.
Which division?
It's in the chat. If you look on left side of the Google Hangout thing, there's a blue little speech bubble at the top that says chat. If you click that, a chat thing opens up on the right side of the screen, and you'll see the link there.
Hmm. Well, I'm on the chat right now, but I don't see anything.
I'll post it on Facebook later too.
Alright.
You know, mixed reaction to the low downforce package. It's been like 50-50, but it has provided for some great racing.
I'm sorry, but I'm laughing right now because Richie just poked me on TeamSpeak. He was like, "Muffins, I see you."
Muffin Man.
Richard sees muffins.
And he,
Muffin Man confirmed.
Richard, man.
oh, that was funny. Muffins, I see you.
Alright, well, I guess that's going to end off this week's episode. Of course, let's see, is it next week? Or is there an off week between all... No, next week's
Next week we're going back to Charlotte.
Yeah, Coke 600, yay!
Hey.
Who can last 600 miles?
Yep. Hopefully Casey hears again. Hashtag bring back 2007.
Yay.
Goal strategy, hashtag.
The only problem is we don't have JJ Yelling and Kyle Petty in the field, so...
Rip.
You know, I gotta say, the fun on that 75 is not bad.
It's not bad, but, I mean, it's just kind of base. I don't see it as a Joe Gibbs racing fun to me, but...
Here's the thing.
Only wonders though.
Here's the thing. Oh, what's going on here, okay? Also, what I forgot to mention, NASCAR Heat Evolution is coming out in September, and the highest finishing Toyota driver tonight is the cover driver.
Yeah, I'd love Truex to win then.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, if anything happens to all the Joe Gibbs cars and Matt DiBenedetto is the highest finishing driver, he gets the cover.
Nuh-uh. David
Yes.
Reagan's gonna win one of the. He's gonna win one of the segments. He's gonna get in the All-Star race. And he's gonna win the All-Star race.
Okay.
David Reagan on the cover.
If you want to take it this far, let's do it. Let's do it.
Maybe on the cover they'll put a burrito on there. If you know.
Yeah. Wait, it's Cole Witt at Toyota.
Maybe they'll put Echo on the cover.
Cole Witt, an unsponsored '98 on the cover.
Oh, that would be
And
awesome.
Richie just came back and said Josh Wise for the cover.
Oh, wait, that's right. Josh Wise is in the night. Wait, is Josh Wise is in the '98? No, wait.
No, he's in the 30.
Oh, he's in the 30 car. Yeah.
Yes, this is the 30, which is the Chevy.
But that's a Chevy. So he couldn't be on the cover then.
Yeah.
Great swords and for the cover.
So that's gonna end off this week's episode. Next week, of course, we'll be back here again on Saturday morning. We'll give you our picks for the Coke 600, recap this week's All-Star race, and all that. Again, for those of you that don't know the times for for today, the Sprint Showdown is going to be in about 45 minutes at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Then you got the truck race. 7:10 tonight will be the All-Star race qualifying, and then 9 o'clock Eastern is when they'll run the All-Star race, so it should be interesting. Want to thank Charles, Johnny, JT, and William for joining me here.
No problem. And also, before we end this episode, and I see you.
Yeah. Also want to thank Alonzo and Steven for being here too, even though they had to leave early. And before I end off the stream, anything you guys want to randomly say? Besides
I
muffins.
see you.
All-Star night, baby.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Richie.
What's